Get out in this beautiful sunshine, beautiful Mount Ida in the background. Hello everyone. Today is a day I'm going to unpack the Can-Am, and what I mean by that is I'm going to remove the covering. It's been sitting all winter, sitting here pretty much right in the way of snow plowing and whatnot. Tires have gone flat, so I'm just going to pump up the tires. Hopefully the batteries still get in it, and we can get get it turned over and get it fired up, let it warm up, and then we're off to my good friend Michael's house. Lives down the valley. We will replace the AR in it and do an oil change, as well as there's a couple other parts that are broken on the machine right now. As I drive it pretty hard, very, very hard actually. It's designed for it, and it's built for driving very hard. So yeah, hang around and you can watch me repair the Can-Am. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment in the comment section what you thought of the video, and what do you think of the Can-Am. So I'm just going to we're going to pull the cover off it. The dog, Roxy, Part Malinois, is just a bald nut, absolute little bald nut. So off you go, Roxy. The Can-Am X3 RR, which means that it's 195 horse, 192 horse. The RR stands for that, I believe. It's a turbo model, it's a turbo model RC, which is a rock crawler. It's designed for crawling over rocks, obviously, the name rock crawler. It's got these specific rock crawling tires on it, as opposed to big lugs on the tire for sand or for dirt or something like that. So it's super fast machine. It does about 85 miles an hour. I don't know what the calculation is, but I'm going to guess it's about 160 to 170 kilometers an hour is how fast that machine will go. And it gets there very quickly. So I'm going to keep on pumping up the tires, and then I'll join you guys back in a few minutes once we get this thing fired up and running. We'll get the proper PSI into the tires once we get over to Mike's. To drive it to 2 kilometers from here to there is not going to hurt the tires at all, because it's overpressurized. I think I run at 12, 15 PSI, somewhere in there, when we're rock crawling or going over the larger rocks and stuff like that. But if you're ripping down the trails and whatnot, I think about 22 PSI works pretty well. I got a lot of stuff marked down, so I'll keep track, and I'll get things more straightened out for you guys. Just so if anybody else has, if they got an RC and they're wondering what PSI to run the tires at, there's a lot of videos out there on it, I'm sure of it. But yeah, I'll bring up the tires enough PSI to get them over to Mike's, and then we'll go from there. Salmon Valley Adventures. The company I'm actually starting to bring people up the mountain in a few side-by-sides that we have. So it'll be a rental company, where a tour company where you can come and jump in a machine, and I'll guide you up the mountain and around. So I'm glad you're all here today. We're going to do a bunch of work to the Can-Am and get it up and running. We also got a bunch of work to do to the Kawasaki. That'll be another video. But for now, the work is on the Can-Am, and I just want to make sure that you're all going to give us a thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment if you have some comments. We'll do my best to lay out all the details as we progress through the video. I got to cut and duck down because I got the camera pointed kind of right at through. So here's they give you a key. It's not really a key. I'm gonna bring it up there. That's what it looks like. it goes over a small ball that's on the dashboard, and then there's a push start, as in just a yeah, push the finger and start. So, here we go. Suicide doors, as they call them. Fingers crossed. That's impressive. The thing's been sitting for months. Honestly, for months, and bam, fired right up. Of course, it's brand new. It should do that. I would be disappointed if it wasn't. But the battery lasted. That's the kicker. The battery lasted. So we let it warm up for a little bit, and then we're going to attempt to get it to mics, and we'll do a little video on that. It's hard to get out of. Here we are. We've arrived at Mike's shop. We're going to repair this front A-arm. As you see down there, it's bent. It's almost broken through. It's bent right there. It's designed to break right there. So, I mean bend right there. So that's, then you get your front wheel like that. That's what happens. It's supposed to look like that, but it's like that. So, so we're going to repair that. And there's some other damage on the vehicle as well. This, we're going to repair this. One of the radius rods, I bent one of those. That's called a radius rod. I bent one of those radius rods, so I have a new one of those. And I think that's about it. Okay, I have a lot of it apart now. The rad comes off. The shock comes off. The winch comes out. Front bumper comes off. And that'll free up all the front so you can pull the A-arm out. Now down here is the back of the A-arm. I cut it. It's a lot easier to get the A-arm out while you cut it. You cut the back side there, and then you cut the front side, and it'll slide right out. So we've gotten quite a far ways on fixing up the Can-Am. There's a couple points that are everything's pretty self-explanatory when you get the A-arm, but in order to get that on and like off, like I mentioned, it's if you cut it in there, it's a lot easier to get that off. But in order to get that off, there's a plate in front of it. So on the other side of the machine, you have to undo the bolt, the nut as well, and then slide the plate off, and then you can get that off. So here we are on the front. I'm just putting it back together again right now. So the arms on the frame. Now I still have to attach the arm onto the spindle with the ball joint. So I'm going to do that first, and then we'll start putting this front end together. And as I mentioned, the entire clip comes off. The whole clip comes off. So it's a little bit of a bear to get the clip off. There's a bunch of bolts or Torx 25, Torx 25, I'm pretty sure. But there's so this is on the underside. So we got one here. There's one here. There's not hidden ones, but they're, yeah, right there. And then on this side, there's a hidden one. Your gas, this is your cover for your gas, for the gas cap. And there's one hiding back in there. So that's the hidden one. Otherwise, it pops right off, comes off very easily. And I will continue. There's a couple other parts that we're going to put on. I'm going to put that back fender on. We're not going to do the radius rod. The radius rod that we bent back into shape is really good. So I'll keep that brand new one as a spare for when we really bend the radius rod badly. Then we'll put the new one on. And the only issue I see with putting this thing together today is we did a wheel alignment last time, so we're going to have to do a wheel alignment again. It's quite difficult to do a wheel alignment unless you got the proper tools to do it. I'll show you guys how we're going to end up doing it. We use a tape measure, front of the tire, back of the tire, and then I think 1/4 inch. They say 1/4 inch towed in. Once it's settled, don't do it with it jacked up. It's got to be sitting level on the ground. Drive it back and forward a couple times so that the springs have settled, and then do your toe in. 1/4 inch is what we want, I believe, that they said on Shock Therapy. Awesome people, Shock Therapy. If you're ever looking for any parts or anything like that. It's all back together again. We're still over at Michael's. I'll be leaving here shortly, going for my very first rip of the season. We'll see how far. We could probably go up to the 5K mark. Tires aren't conducive to deep snow as they are rock crawler tires. They're 32 inches, 15-inch rim, 32-inch tire. Lots of clearance. They're really good in the rocks. They don't puncture. And there's a lot of sidewall to absorb huge rocks and boulders and stuff like that. So I'll bring you all along up the mountain, and we'll go to the 5K mark. We'll stop a couple of times on the way. But here we go on Salmon Valley Adventures, first adventure of the season, 2022. First ride of the season. I'm up about 1.5 kilometers up the mountain. Still lots of snow. The higher we go, the more snow there will be. So we'll just go take a little bit of footage and just see what's going on. All-wheel drive, which means that it's four-wheel drive. So all tires turn with the engine. Haven't ripped it yet. It's supposed to slide off the road. Try to keep it stable. Looks very shaky. I know there's a stabilization mode on the film somewhere. We've made it to the 5K. It's a little hard coming up the road, as those tires, as I mentioned, they're fairly smooth. By no means are they a good tread for snow. They're excellent for the rocks. But I just wanted to get out in this beautiful sunshine. Beautiful Mount Ida, the background. The trail is open. It's down here. The trail is open to Mount Ida, and we could hang a left back there, and it's down there. You can see it right there, that little piece of road. And that's the trail. It goes all the way around that way and up to, not to the peak. You actually can't get to the peak. And not only can't you get to the peak, you're not allowed on the peak. The indigenous of the area, it's a sacred circle. They used to do ceremonies. This is what I'm told. I'm not 100% sure. I'll do a little bit of research before I start talking about that anymore. But so you're not supposed to be on the very tippy top of Mount Ida. You can go around the base of it, not a problem at all. There's trails all the way, not all the way around. There's no trail on the north face of Mount Ida. You could go. The rocks are falling from the bank. I heard a snap behind me like crazy, and I assumed there was an animal behind me. I'm so comfortable up here that I guess I should. I don't watch for animals. A bear could come and eat me, and more than likely I wouldn't even see him coming, because it's my backyard. This is where I live. I'm here all the time, so it doesn't bother me. I'm in the animal's backyard. I'm in the animal's home is where I am. Oh, actually, what's snapping and crackling? Look at this. Somebody left fire going. That's a little crazy, but they did. Somebody had a beautiful little fire, and there you go. So here we are. Beautiful Mount Ida and our valley. That way is south, and that way is north. We're going to take you guys up on some more adventures way up the mountain. We'll keep on going up. Not today. Another trip. For journeys up Mount Ida. We will go a little bit further next time. I can only go to the 5-kilometer mark. We're at the 5K right now. So I'm 5 kilometers from the base, which is pretty much from the fire hall. All the way up to here, it's 5 kilometers. I can go down, there's a trail down below, which I'll show you guys a little bit of video footage on that one. It's down below and it goes to the cliffs. So that trail is open, but there's some deactivations that they've done over the summertime, last fall, that are really deep and very, very large, very steep. So I don't want to tempt them alone. I definitely want to have some other machines with me just in case I get stuck. And it is getting nightfall. The sun is starting to set behind the mountain, so we're about 5 o'clock, I'm guessing, somewhere in there. The sun will set behind the mountain. It'll be dark, approximately 6:30, quarter to 7. Then it'll be pitch black, and you don't want to be out here when it's pitch black. It's not that it's scary. It gets pretty chilly. As soon as that sun's down, it starts to get really cold right now. So we won't go through the DX. So for now, I made it here. As I mentioned, the tires aren't very good for the snow. The machine will do it, not a problem at all. If I had some paddle tires or some tracks for next winter, I will definitely have some tracks. So for now, Johnny O out. Thank you guys for watching this video.